Hello, my angels. It's me, Lord Nicolina, and welcome back to Angel Rise. This is not only episode 35 of the series, but also the 100th video I've uploaded to this channel. You heard me correctly. This is the 100th video. Honestly, I feel it's more than fitting that I make an Angel Rise episode as the 100th video on this channel, since the first episode of Angel Rise was the first video on this channel. 1 year and 7 months ago, I started uploading content to this channel, and I honestly have enjoyed the ride since. In celebration, I'll be making a separate video sharing my favorite videos that I've made so far. And one last thing before the episode starts. I just want to thank you all who have come this far with me, who have supported my content since the first video came out. You all deserve to give yourselves a round of applause, just like I do for myself. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And without further ado, let's officially get into the 100th video on the Lord Nicolina YouTube channel, Angel Rise, episode 35. For this episode, I thought I would take the time to acknowledge what kinds of videos I like to watch here on YouTube. There are quite a few types of videos that I watch, but I'm going to list 5 of my most favorite types. And let's just say, it's a mixed bag, but it's the one I love carrying around and wish to show you all. Number 1. EAS scenarios. For those of you who don't know what these kinds of videos are, they're videos depicting fictional scenarios using mock emergency alert system messages. The emergency alert system, or EAS for short, is the alert system used in the United States, much like the Alert Ready system in my home country of Canada and various other alert systems around the world. The first time I heard about EAS scenarios was through a video called EF6, which depicts a mock scenario in which a tornado outbreak occurs in the northeastern section of the US state of Texas, with a tornado of unprecedented proportions striking the city of Dallas and its surrounding areas. This happened when I was surfing around YouTube in April 2020 while I was watching tornado videos. I came across the video by chance per se. And for those wondering about EF6, it's a proposed level up from the strongest tornado level, which is in EF5, part of the enhanced Fujita scale, which determines the strength of tornadoes. That's why the tornado in this scenario is called an EF6, meaning it's deadlier and much more destructive than an EF5 tornado. As for the YouTubers I watch who make this content, I've watched a variety of them. The biggest ones I watch include easscenario, the Cat 627, the Phoenix Fire, and biggest of all, SBC Hermitage 1258. The quality of their content is what keeps me coming back to them, especially SBC Hermitage 1258. I won't get too much into detail about their content, as I feel that will be more suitable for a future video. Maybe even for a Halloween video this year, who knows? But I will list off a few of my favorite scenarios. They are State of Emergency by the Phoenix Fire, Absolute Zero by Radioactive Girl 00, The Undead Prevelation Remastered by the Cat 627, Something Wicked This Way Comes / Lucifer Rises by easscenario, and Cataclysmic Annihilation by SBC Hermitage 1258. But there is a catch to these videos. The EAS tones in them vary between valid to invalid. and I've heard that pointing them near radios can cause actual transmissions of the emergency alert system, and there are massive legal consequences for doing so. That's why at the beginning of scenarios, there's always a disclaimer saying that EAS tones included should not be played near radios, and that the video creator is not to be held responsible. Because there are some careless people in this world. Plus, the scenarios are fictional after all. Suffice to say, a good majority of the scenarios I've watched have left me on edge at times. Mostly because in the majority of them, there are sirens played as background noise to describe the urgency of the situation, and even times there have been jump scares, which makes them even more terrifying. But overall, they have been interesting to watch, and I even learned about the United States National Weather Service through these scenarios, as well as emergency action notifications, and all different kinds of warnings, from civil danger to law enforcement warnings. Over time, I've actually played some of my own scenarios in my head, mostly depicting national emergencies for the United States. While I haven't watched too many of them as of late, I still like to watch them. They give me a lot of memories, thinking about how scared I was at some of them, and the general knowledge about alert systems. Basically, if it weren't for the EF6 scenario, I wouldn't have known much about alert systems in the first place. Number 2. Classic ship videos. These kinds of videos I started having interest in while I was watching clips from the 1997 James Cameron film Titanic, and while I was making a Titanic-themed artwork. My interest in classic ships actually began when I was around 10 or 11, and my main focus would be around Titanic, which undoubtedly is the most researched ship in history, considering its sinking on April 15, 1912. I only knew the basics around the time and had a rough idea of how Titanic sank. But when I came across the YouTuber Historic Travels, all of that changed. Sam, the person who runs the channel, he provides more in-depth analysis as to how the ship sank, and even shows Titanic's lifetime leading up to the sinking. However, Titanic isn't the only ship he's covered on his channel. He's also covered Titanic's two sister ships, Olympic and Britannic, who were part of the Olympic class of oceanliners with the White Star Line, as well as the Cunard Line ship Lusitania, among other ocean liners. I also knew very little about those ships too, and much like with Titanic, I learned a lot from those ship stories as well. But he's not the only classic ship YouTuber I watch. Not long after I came across Historic Travels, I came across another channel called Oceanliner Designs, which is a channel run by Australian ship historian Mike Brady. Like Sam from Historic Travels, Mike covers a variety of ships and goes in depth with them, Titanic included. But it's not just famous ships he covers. He also makes videos about lesser-known ships and some of the most interesting shipwrecks from around the world. Both Sam and Mike also discuss Titanic theories in their respective videos, like, what if Titanic never sank? Or, how could have the Titanic sinking been worse? Either way, both of them make spectacular videos on classic ships, and have brought back the curiosity I had about ships when I was a kid. So, to Sam and Mike, you both are wonderful content creators. Keep up the great work. Number 3. True Stories. These videos I got into just before I started watching classic ship videos. The channel that got me started watching videos like those is Fascinating Horror. This channel covers well-known and lesser-known disasters from history, like the sinking of the paddle wheel ship Sultana, the Mississauga Miracle, and the Texas City disaster of 1947. As time grew on, I became interested in more true story channels. They are Dark Records, Disasterthon, True Horror, The Raven's Eye, and Infamous Accidents. Disasterthon, True Horror, and Infamous Accidents mostly cover theme park accidents, which makes me think more about the safety of theme parks, while Dark Records and The Raven's Eye do similar videos to that of Fascinating Horror, even doing some stories that they already covered. While those channels are no doubt intriguing to watch, one other channel stands out among the rest. That being Let's Read. This channel covers personal, scary, true stories submitted by their viewers, ranging from abductions to missing people, robberies, true crime, you name it, he covers them all. I often listen to the videos Let's Read makes whenever I'm drawing, making dinner, or when I go for walks. There are multiple stories per video, some as short as around 1 minute, or as long as an average Angel Rise episode, around 15 to 20 minutes. From what I mentioned, I have quite the variety of true story videos to watch. All the channels I've mentioned make amazing content. These stories honestly make me aware that life is quite fragile, and from the smallest of missteps to the most evil of people, lives can be snatched away without a single trace, or can be changed forever, whether it's for the best or for the worst. So my advice to all of you out there, always be wary of your surroundings, and don't take life for granted. Lessons were also learned in a lot of the stories I've listened to, and the safety measures that are in place today are because of them. Safety, no doubt, has come a long way. Number 4. Wario Dies Memes. The concept of these videos is simple. The iconic Mario series character, Wario, dies in some bizarre ways. And by bizarre, I mean bizarre. In most of them, he lets out this phrase that's embroiled in my brain.
Oh my God!
I first came across this meme through a video called Wario Dies in a Falling Elevator While Enjoying Oreos, which I believe was around the time the meme started to gain traction, which was around 2019. Now, I'm not one for too many memes, but this one got me hooked. These videos are scattered across many channels. So throughout the beginning part of me watching these, that's how it worked. Some of my favorites include Wario and friends die in each other's arms by a 12-mile-wide asteroid while on a tropical island by Curzo. Wario and Waluigi die from a black hole in the Earth's core while watching the Donkey Kong Country cartoon trailer, also by Curzo. Wario dies after robbing a Wells Fargo by Shy Guy. Wario dies in a magic act by Meldo Wizow. And Wario dies after throwing his Wii out of a window and onto Mario's car by Peter Krager. Starting in 2021, however, I've become accustomed to watching Wario Dies memes from one YouTuber in particular, that being Manny the Headless Meme Horse. They make amazing Wario Dies memes, some of the best I've ever watched. Some of my favorites include Wario dies tragically after getting hit in the nuts with a baseball. Wario dies horrifically after a labor simulator glitches on full blast. Wario and Waluigi die after rickrolling Bigfoot and having their camper rolled off a cliff. Wario dies by accidentally setting himself on fire while waiting at a fancy Italian restaurant. And Wario dies playing a scary VR horror game and then stumbling into a silver salad fork. In some of the videos I watched from them, I noticed the "Oh my god," Wario says is often followed by a falling scream which signifies its deaths, as opposed to the "wah" he gives off in others. And fun fact about the channel, their first ever Wario Dies meme was uploaded on February 4th, 2021. My 20th birthday. Honestly, that is mind-blowing that they started uploading these videos 20 years after I was born. Mind-blowing. However, Wario Dies memes don't come up too often on the channel anymore, but they're still amazing to watch considering the quality of them. And my favorite part about them is the videos where Waluigi is involved and Wario says to him, "Who do you think you are, Buster?" And Waluigi simply replies, "Waluigi!" It doesn't come up often, but I do get a good chuckle when the lines do come up. No doubt about it, these kinds of videos do have Wario dying in situations where fatalities are possible. But others are just flat out ridiculous, including one called "Wario Gets Sucked into a Plane Toilet and Dies," which is based on a common fear and theory about airplane bathrooms. Like I mentioned earlier, some ways Wario has died in these videos are insanely bizarre. Either way, I love these kinds of videos. They do give me a good laugh, especially in sequences where Wario's screaming to try and get away from what is trying to get him. They're definitely some of the most entertaining videos I've ever watched. And number 5, sports highlight compilations. Being a massive sports fan, I don't think there's any doubt why I love watching these kinds of videos. I've been watching sports highlights since the days where I would tune into SportsCenter or Sportsnet Connected/Central every day when I was a kid. It didn't matter what teams were there. As long as it was sports, I'd tune in. I did stop watching those programs regularly as I got older, but that didn't stop me from watching sports highlights altogether. Starting in my early teens, I was watching hockey highlights on YouTube, more specifically those from the NHL. Most of them involved line brawls, which simply means all players that are on the ice get involved in one massive fight. As time went on, I started looking up some of the best goals the NHL has ever seen. I've also watched funny moments, and even got into watching mic'd up videos and goal horns. Goal horns are basically the pinnacle of hockey. Every team should have one, whether it's minor league, junior league, or professional. But it's not just hockey highlights I'm into. Basketball, football, and baseball also are part of the mix. For basketball, I often see hype plays, including jukes, clutch three-point shots, and buzzer beaters. For football, both professional and college, it's all about clutch game-winning plays, mostly touchdowns and field goals, jukes, wild weather sequences, big hits, and hot mic moments, which are like mic'd up sequences, only the microphones are on the field, hidden. As for baseball, it's all about clutch plays, whether offense or defense, along with brawls, walk-off wins, high IQ moments, and ejections. All these kinds of highlights get the emotions rolling in me. And even I replay some highlights in my head whenever I play video games to amp up my experience and to focus. As for YouTubers I watch to see these highlights, they are numerous, but I will list my favorites. They are Ding Productions, PSC Highlights, Delta Highlights, Gens 95, King Swish, Golden Hoops, Sporting Videos, Sportsnet's YouTube channel, and Baseball Evolution. Honestly, there's no one channel I prefer out of them all. They're all really good, and the highlights they show prove that my love for sports is still thriving. Even if it's not as big as it was during my childhood. But they bring back a lot of memories. I even have a better understanding of sports more because of these videos, because amazing plays can come through when it looks like nothing or the usual thing is going to happen, and that rules in sports serve their purpose when in that exact circumstance. Sports will always be a major part of my life, even when I'm pursuing my dreams. And like I mentioned earlier, these sport highlight compilation videos are a big reason why. And before I officially cap off the episode, here are a few honorable mentions for videos that I watch I would like to list. So, if you're ever wondering what to watch on YouTube, feel free to watch the videos I mentioned. Who knows? You could love them as much as I do. That's all for episode 35, everyone. The topic of my favorite videos to watch here on YouTube is something I've wanted to talk about for a while. And I feel since this is the 100th video on the channel, I feel it's more than fitting. On that note, what kind of videos do you enjoy watching on YouTube? Feel free to let me know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and share this with your loved ones. Spread the word about Angel Rise. For those who are new to the channel and would like to join this journey of mine, then please feel free to subscribe to join the Blue and White Angel Brethren today. Click on the notification bell after you subscribe as well so that you are notified whenever I release new content. And check out my other videos too. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Angel Rise. I hope you all have a great day or night whenever you are watching this. Until we meet again, my name is Lord Nicolina. Be strong, stay positive, and God bless.
Oh!